Chinese responded by cutting off all deliveries of rare earth minerals and magnetic materials to the United States, destroying the American automobile manufacturing base, because you can't produce a car without access to these minerals. We don't have any alternative source. The Ukrainian rare earth mineral deal is on paper, it's not real. Congo, the three guys that Trump sent to negotiate this with the Congolese leadership ended up fleeing for their lives. Where else can you get it? Myanmar, I guess, but that's all going to China. Where else can you get rare earth minerals? I guess you're stuck. Afghanistan, Chinese got that one too. The Chinese own us.
So I saw this clip as I was making the last episode, and I said, you know what? This would be a good way to segue into what's going on in China and, what's going on with Thailand and Cambodia, because something is brewing over there that's getting ready to get started and that we're going to have to learn all about. Because the minute I saw it, I was like, what is America doing in Thailand and Cambodia? And then, and with that kind of thought process, when I heard Scott Ritter say this about rare earth minerals, and I know rare earth minerals is like very important, it made me feel like this is something that we've started over there to cause a bigger problem for China. I don't know. This is speculation on my end, but without further ado, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at Twitter, first of all, because I have Brian Berletić. So Brian Berletić has been on top of this new Cambodia type of like Thai-Cambodia conflict. So I'm gonna play his clip here. He was interviewed by RT, and I pray to God that I can still put this up so I can hear. I like to go to Brian Berletić because since with Ukraine and everything, Brian Berletić keeps it completely real to me because he brings it with facts. So this is a trusted source to me. And, I really respect what he has to say.
It needs to be kept in mind that this isn't the first time armed clashes have taken place, or even the first time there have been large numbers of casualties on both sides. People should look at the timing of these clashes. This always seems to coincide with either a US-backed client regime trying to work its way into power here in Thailand, or a US-backed client regime being systematically removed from power here in Thailand, Cambodia, and those in Thailand working together with Western interests always decide to use these moments to bring up this issue that is otherwise allowed to remain as status quo. And as the Thai government has repeatedly said, it seeks to resolve this bilaterally. It does not want to include the ICJ, which in reality is a Western-dominated institution and an institution used as a tool by Western interests.
Yeah, the Cambodian government said it will inform the UN about Thailand's alleged use of banned cluster bombs in the border strikes, but Thailand is not a party to the Convention on Cluster Munitions. What steps can the UN take if banned cluster bombs indeed have been used, given Thailand's status?
It's hard to say. It's also hard to say how anyone should seriously take these claims. We just watched footage of Cambodia itself using Grad rockets, which are unguided rockets with area effect. They were using these rockets on populated areas of the Thai side, which includes a lot of ethnic Cambodians. These border regions are very mixed. The people coexist very well together, and they were indiscriminately targeting and killing civilians with these Grad rockets. So they're making a claim against Thailand while they openly, in front of the whole world, use these weapons indiscriminately. So it's them leveraging what is probably a Western preference for their side of the story. And again, it's meant to destabilize both Thailand and all of Asia at a time where all of these countries and China are rising together and surpassing the West.
There is a long history here. The conflict's origins revolve around claims to an ancient temple and lands around it, with the sides at loggerheads since the French colonial empire introduced a map with skewed borders. How would you describe the historical role Paris has played as it applies to these current tensions?
They have left these ticking time bombs all across both Southeast Asia and the rest of the world where Western colonialism worked its way into. And this is the type of division and chaos that Western imperialism still leaves behind even to this day. I believe that it's something this region could easily overcome, but that's only after Western influence, coercion, is pushed out of the region. The U.S. Especially is still able to use these ticking time bombs as fault lines to create division in a region that should otherwise be united and rising together.
So do you think France should play a bigger role in helping the region overcome any failed legacy its own empire left behind?
I don't think anyone could expect France or any other Western power to act responsibly or in the interests of the parties and the people, more importantly, the people of this region. This is an issue that should be resolved bilaterally. It can be resolved bilaterally. Thailand and Cambodia have a lot to gain by cooperating with one another and resolving this peacefully along the border. And I'm afraid that any Western influence or interference in this issue will only make it worse, which makes me question Cambodia's appeal to these Western institutions there seated in Europe.
This dispute was mediated by the International Court of Justice, which ruled Thailand.
All right, so I want to stop there because what it is that this is the beginning of this conflict, right? My comments are regarding the Thai-Cambodian conflict. So the thing is that I wanted to see if he commented underneath this. The thing is that Brian, so when a conflict is first starting, we are just learning about it. Well, for me, I am. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything that's going on in Cambodia and Thailand. A lot of times there are these historic, this is in general, historic skirmishes between two different societies or cultures or whatever that sometimes has these clashes, and then nobody cares until it becomes beneficial for them and their agenda, and so then they start to pay attention to it. Now we're hearing about it in the media. Apparently this kind of stuff has been going on over there anyway, that with them kind of, striking at each other. Nobody cared. So I want to look at this question somebody asked, and both countries have ties with, this is true, with both U.S. and China, but Thailand has moved closer to China in the recent years with BRI projects. Cambodia has far worse track record than Thailand of being a willing proxy for U.S. interests. I still shudder to recall the Khmer Rouge years. I don't know anything about that. And Brian says, and I have covered for years how Cambodia and harbored U.S.-backed agitators and terrorists used to undermine Thai peace and stability. I had hoped Cambodia would come around. It would be best for the whole region, but they won't. So, because if the American establishment is involved, and they've already probably added their Terrys that are of all kinds of other cultures into the situation, then forget it. It's already now a mess. And so, something else that he put, this is insane. So this is footage. Wow. So Brian says footage shows Cambodian forces firing grad rockets from residential areas surrounding by civilian spectators. Not only does this place civilians in danger when Thai forces strike these systems, these rockets being fired are unguided area effect weapons incapable of precision strikes and are responsible for the majority of civilian injuries and deaths on the Thai side, which includes many ethnic Cambodians living in Thailand. Other videos show Cambodian troops dressed like civilians firing weapons. And that's the thing. They take these, I don't want to say poor people, but they take these poor people and then they get them involved with these type of fights. They're giving them rockets. And a lot of people know how to make rockets, right? But, and so it begins, And so the last thing that Brian posted, Cambodia running fluent English information operation across X, obviously fake accounts, flooding news and analysis with very familiar U.S. style pattern, comments, hashtags appealing to Western international institutions, particularly the ICJ. And so we will see now that the ICJ will be used exactly for what it's used, because the ICJ was trying to so-called come after you know, what's that place called? Israel. But these institutions, they're not really, you know. So let's see. So now, what they're gonna show Jacob in Cambodia, who is a vet, who's more than like, you see, this is gonna be hard. Like, U.S. Marine vet, working child protection, advocating child rights, justice, online safety, posting about social issues, fitness, and expat in Cambodia. Why do we have expats in Cambodia? Thailand gearing up to sea. On July 25th, Admiral Natapoli inspected SEALs warship, an aircraft sat ship, ordering maximum combat readiness in response to growing national threats. Some of the weapons and tactics surfacing in Cambodia, Thailand conflict, watching unfold are both unsettling and sad. He actually seems like he cares. You know, you just got to be careful. We're going to give him a follow because I don't know who he is, but we'll give him a follow to see if we can. I don't know. This is new, so I have to. Just said martial law officially declared in parts of Thailand over hot military conflict with Cambodia. It's like. All right, and then let's read this last one, but we just have a lot to figure out with this new topic. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere, too, by the way, but it's just you got to pay attention to everything that's happening wherever it is. Lazy OSINT bros, Thai-Chinese relations. Lazy OSINT bros are leaping to conclusions that Cambodia is aligned closer to China than Thailand, based mostly on data points from half a century ago. Ironically, this meshes with Western narrative trying to depict China as backing Cambodia's attacks on Thailand, all aimed at dividing and destroying Asia's rise. Okay. Let me update this for the 21st century. Cool. China, which is going to be good for me to understand. China is Thailand's largest import-export partner, largest source of investment in tourism, a key infrastructure partner, including currently building Thailand's first high-speed rail, 5G networks, and new rolling stock for existing metro lines. China has also helped Thailand replace its aging U.S. military equipment, including a fleet of modern VT-4 main battle tanks, hundreds of infantry fighting vehicles, and armored personal carriers, a jointly developed guided rocket system, joint drone programs, air defense systems, and increasingly joint Thai-Chinese military drills to offset long-established U.S.-Thai drills. Okay. China is building better ties with Cambodia, but the U.S. still remains overwhelmingly Cambodia's most important export partner. 35% of Cambodia's exports go to the U.S., more than all Asian destinations combined, and still uses U.S. dollars for local transactions. Cambodia has faced intense U.S.-backed efforts to coerce or even remove the current government and exercise tremendous leverage over Cambodia's political system. This is something I myself have reported on and tried to help raise awareness regarding to help all nations in the region throw off U.S. coercion and control, but it's still a fact. Ultimately, Cambodia working together with Thailand and the rest of ASEAN. This must be like the name of, side by side with China works in everyone's interests, and this clash only serves to slow down or reverse this eventuality. Beware of lazy analysts making sweeps claims, providing details or evidence telling you that you might want to what you might want to hear or believe in contrary to reality and facts. So we'll stay, definitely with Brian on this. Brian is already on top of this, and I feel very safe that way. And I just want to bring you guys the real and true news. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.